two more steel drums.
Oh, okay.
And a hand drummer. So it was a little steel drum band, and I'd never seen a steel drum band, but the hand drummer was cool, and I met him, and his name was Jerome. And Jerome and I did a little hanging out together because he played congas and I played bongo. And then one day I was down there, and Jerome said, and I hadn't only been in town like 3 weeks when this was all happening. And Jerome said he was quitting the band. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, you should talk to Victor. Maybe he would, you know, hire you in to be the hand drummer.
Wow.
Oh, and I said, wow, cool. So now I'm going to have 2 jobs in New York City. So sure enough, Victor Brady said, yeah, he'd love to have me play. And so I played with him and his little band, I think, 1 night a week at this joint. But Victor said that they were going to be doing some bigger shows where they're going to have a couple more drums and a timbale player, and they were going to dress up and do these bigger shows over in East Orange, and that I was definitely going to be in on that. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So now it's come to the end of my 3 months of being in New York City on my job, and my sister and mother have elected, against their will of course, to drive to New York City and pick me up.
No, you said they. You
told me they were thrilled. They couldn't, you know, they hadn't and never had a reason to go to New York.
They'd never been to New York.
Oh
either?
no, not my, you know, my family's full of coal miners.
Okay.
So here's my mother and Rita come to New York, and they're just thrilled to death. And it just so happens that we're playing a big show in East Orange, New Jersey. And it was just the whole thing was a magic for me, because we go over on the bus, the band. Now, for some reason, my sister and my mother went too, but they didn't go on with us. And we went to this place, a huge club in East Orange, and we've got like 2 extra bass drummers with the steel drums and a timbale player. And it's like a big puffy band, and we're doing all the same material, but the songs are bigger, and it's a dance floor. And sure enough, my mother and sister sit down. They weren't really drinking, but they sit down in front, and they're just thrilled because, you know, here's Larry,
wow,
the only white guy in an all-black band, and we got on big puffy sleeves, and we're looking real, you know, whatever, and we're looking Cuban actually, and the dance starts, and my mother, I couldn't believe this, my mother got up, and some guy, some nice African-American man came over and said, would you dance? And my mother jumped right up. Off they spit on the floor, and I was just going, whoa! It's just too much. And it was I mean, it was just an overwhelming evening. It was really cool. Of course, you had to be there, but so this is the completion of my New York stuff. Was I didn't go back. I elected to not go back to New York on my next quarter, work quarter, because it just I didn't make any money there. But and I'd already had pretty much a belly full in New York.
Really?
So that's the conclusion. Anyway, the most important thing out of this, I think, is the fact that I play music with Victor Brady, who for some reason is the father of steel drums.
Right on.
He's the guy. So
cool.
That's the New York story.
Thank you, Larry.